Hi, this is Kevin Ashworth with Fighting Fear with Kevin Ashworth. I'm the clinical director at Northwest Anxiety Institute, a clinician that specializes in the treatment of anxiety, and also someone that does vlogs on anxiety and answers emails on anxiety and writes about anxiety. And so if you haven't subscribed after you see this video, if you like it, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can check out our Facebook page at northwestanxiety.com. My email is kevin@nwanxiety. Today I want to know, what are you doing to plan for and prepare to overcome your anxiety? And if you're a parent or a loved one of someone that's struggling with anxiety, how are you helping them now that it's summertime? Often our anxieties are very, very predictable. What I mean by that is they occur in the same scenarios over and over and over. And despite that, they feel so unpredictable that somehow we're surprised when our child becomes anxious when presented with the same exact thing over and over and over. So if your kid has been anxious going to camp every single year for the last 5 years, somehow parents really feel like this year it should just be different, like they hope it's just different, and there's no really practice ahead of time in trying to understand what are the things about camp, for example, or going back to school, for example, or doing a sleepover. Or if you're anxious about a presentation. People don't practice in the meantime before attempting to engage in these things again. And so your body has no tolerance for getting used to any of these awful feelings, and so we have to over practice. And so summer is the best time to do that for children. Summer is sometimes a really good time to do that for us, depending on what our fears are. The point is, these things don't occur overnight. They're conditioned responses that, based on your avoidance behaviors, based on negative reinforcement, which I talk about in my other videos, avoidance makes you want to avoid more. Most of these things, if they're problematic, have been conditioned over time. The way to get better is you have to decondition them, which takes time. You have to be patient. You have to be patient for your children, patient for your loved ones, and you have to have small incremental goals, and you have to be willing to work on it often. I tell people that getting better from anxiety is like a part-time job. You have to daily think about what you're going to do to make yourself nervous in order to build some of that tolerance, much like going to the gym or having any other kind of healthy lifestyle. It's not about a fad diet, it's about 100 decisions a day. And so what are you doing to help yourself today? Are you driving over a bridge or through an area that typically causes distress? Are you rescuing your child from ordering his own food because maybe next time you'll work on it? Or are you planning to go and get food purely so your kid can practice managing their distress? And that's really the way to do it. People are always asking for lots of tips and tricks to manage their anxieties, to get over it. And it's really less about the specific content, and it's more about understanding the way it works. Because once you understand that you have to incrementally challenge that anxiety in a safe and really, really safe way, you can implement that into 100 decisions a day into your life or into your child's life. And so if that's the stress about bedtime, if that's the stress about sleepovers, is that the stress about certain foods, if that's the stress about panic attacks or phobias or physiological reactivity or trauma or whatever it is, if you have a plan on how you're going to help someone consistently challenge their fear to build tolerance, they can absolutely overcome it, and then you have patience. What many people and many families do is they wait until the last minute, and I get it, I do this too, and they will call us, they will call the clinic, and they want treatment the week before school starts. And it's not that this is a new onset of anxiety or a new panic attack or new flare-up of their obsessive-compulsive disorder symptoms or anything like that. It just so happens that over summer, people have just hoped to have a relaxing time, and I totally get it, and their stress is gone, and so they want to just enjoy and go camping and have fun and go on vacation or just not do anything. But that doesn't make it go away. And so it's that short-term work for that long-term gain. Otherwise, you're constantly just worried about what's going to happen next. So I challenge you to ask yourself, have you made any plans yet for overcoming your fear? I have tattoos, and one of the things I have tattooed on me is do one thing every single day that scares you. That's a reminder, that's a testament to me, for the work that I do and the courage and the bravery of the people that I work with. But it's also a reminder to me that every single day it has to be something, you have to push yourself out of your comfort zone just a little bit. Whether that's an interaction with a stranger, Whether that's being assertive when you don't want to, whether that's ordering something you've never had even, or whether that's, you know, feeling that flutter in your heartbeat and not seeking reassurance, or texting a loved one, or wearing a shirt that you want to wear even though you're a little nervous that other people might make fun of you. It's doing all those little things that really build confidence and add up to this perspective on the world that, not that you won't feel anxious, but that when you do feel anxious, it's totally manageable. I talk about this often. If you haven't heard me say this, look at some of my other videos. But I believe, you know, I mean, not just what I believe, but what research suggests is some people are more genetically predisposed to anxiety. I'm one of them. I just run anxious. I'm very in tune to my physiological state, and so I notice things often. The difference now is those don't put me into that fight or flight response. So I still feel uncomfortable, but I don't let that scare me. I don't let my brain interpret that as danger. I still just feel it as yuckiness, and I tolerate it. And sometimes I can't tolerate, and sometimes I need help, and sometimes I seek reassurance or manage in any other method of coping that I might engage in. But it's about tipping that scale. If I can more days than not do something that's challenging, I can overcome this anxiety. So again, we want to move away from coping. We want to move away from living a life of running from our fear, and really one where we're leaning into it and challenging ourselves. So I hope with this video, you've kind of considered what you can do today just to push that boundary. I will say this, if you're going to do it, try and do it all the way. And what I mean is, if the goal is to public speak, that doesn't mean you go out and public speak today. But what I want you to do is, I want you to, if you're just going to say hello to a stranger, to start there, say hello to a stranger. Just don't say hello and have someone right with you that is protective and nice, or only pick out the nice people. But even if that feels hard, do that anyway. As long as you're feeling distress. If you're feeling distress, it's working. You're challenging yourself. You have to be vulnerable to get better, which means you have to be uncomfortable. I hope this makes sense. If you have any questions, please email me, kevin@nwanxiety.com. Like I said, thank you so much if you have subscribed. I'm getting lots of subscribers, which is really, really cool. I have a podcast I'm doing coming up, which I'll tell you about at the next one. Someone's asked me to do that, and I had a podcast on the art of manliness a few months ago, which was pretty cool. So check it out, email me, ask questions, check out our website, nwanxiety.com. Appreciate it very much. Do something today to challenge yourself, and move on with that bravery and courage.